Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. And yeah, they released some images for it today. Obviously, we saw the first film, and we had some mildly positive things to say about it. It was one of those things where we knew going into it that this was not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. We really went in there tampering our expectations, especially after the experience we had with the Mean One, where we went in there very stoked, very high, and we realized, okay, yes, these are very small budget movies. And, I think that we ended up walking out of this one a little more positive than a lot of people expected. But still, again, very much understand that these movies, they're bottom of the barrel. They aren't anything incredible. But I think that the filmmakers, we got to speak with them, and the producer, they know that. And they're just here to have some fun with it.
Yeah, and and I think that was my coming out of the original Winnie the Pooh. It was I would have loved to see him, do a little bit more, bring a little more, I don't know, fun to the film. And I think I mentioned Killer Clowns from Outer Space in our review. I'd love for them to kind of lean into something like that. And I know here they mentioned with they're going to have a bigger budget. They're bringing the gore. And, what has me intrigued is he's stepping out of the woods and going into actual town. I think of Ashtown is what they say in here. So
Hmm.
I'm curious if we're going to kind of get that aesthetic, that vibe that we have with Killer Clowns. Him and his buddies roaming around town and just wreaking havoc upon its residents there. Because I know they mentioned in here, I think we have Piglet returning, and then Owl is in there as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm curious if the crew's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger here.
I hope so. And, we get a little bit of a tease for everybody. Obviously, Piglet's back, which I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. And then this is our first look at Owl, who looks very demented. I'm trying to figure out what this is really. And,
Yeah.
I'm curious because this image right here makes it very much look like we're still with that original Winnie the Pooh look, as opposed to this one where he's
Yeah.
got so much more detail to the face, so much grittier it looks like. And I'm very curious to see
Maybe some flashbacks.
yeah, how Race and Scott Jeffries are going to be are handling this. Again, I think that this is a fun little niche that they kind of hit with this when it went into the public domain. Um, there is a bit of an unfortunate side when you embrace one of these properties, though, is that the world starts to take this concept by storm and run with it. And yeah, no, we also on the other side of this have a couple of other announcements, and these are nursery rhyme horror films with things like Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yep, that's coming. That's a film. And yeah, there is a trailer. I actually didn't know that. I didn't get to watch it, but yep, looks about what you would expect with that one. Here's the poster for you guys. And then the Three Blind Mice. Okay. So again, didn't know there was a trailer. Rat people looking very neat. Again, just women covered in blood. This one, at least from these stills, looks like maybe there's a little bit more of a budget behind it. I don't know.
They're
Um,
by the same company, actually.
they are okay. So yeah, that's tell me a little bit about this, Luke. What's going on with these flicks?
I did watch both trailers. For both these films. A Mary Had a Little Lamb. It seems like maybe that they're just using that as a hook. There is a older woman named Mary, and I believe the lamb is either a relation to her, or, someone that she knows is dressed up and just chasing people around with an axe. So I don't think they're diving any, other than those parallels. I think it's just probably a catchy hook. For the
Okay.
most part, is what it seemed like. It could go either way. It didn't look horrible. I'm just curious to see if we're gonna get some wild kills, which is probably what you can bank on there. With Three Blind Mice, I'll say the creature effect looked pretty decent for my money. I wasn't really expecting too much out of there, but It looks pretty creepy, kind of reminiscent of The Descent, just kind of those creatures in general a little bit. But neither of them looked horrible, horrible as you would. There's some. I'm not going to mention anything, but there's some really bad stuff out there that we've seen, but um, it looks like a step up from that. So it's piqued my interest. I think we know what to expect here. We're not getting um things that are going to end up on the best horror list of the year or anything like that. But it could make for a fun October.
All right, yeah. I guess if you have some positive things to say, I will do my best to track down some screeners. It looks like Uncorked Entertainment is the ones behind this, and yeah, we do have someone who works with them in our back pocket. So we will have to see what happens with both the Three Blind Mice and Mary Had a Little Lamb. But yes, I'm looking forward to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Like you said, I think that opening it up in the town is definitely a solid choice. I want to see them go balls to the wall. A bigger budget could be a lot of fun. And I think, if you guys haven't seen it, check out our interview with Scott Jeffries and Ray Frick Waterfield. They really do seem to have a passion and a vision for this. They're not just trying to bank on the title of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's like if these movies aren't for you, they're not for you. But I am willing to say that this is really where I think I can get into some pretty deep criticisms, because this seems to be the film that they've wanted to make.
Yes.
So the fact that they put so much on it, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm more critical about this one, but also I wouldn't be surprised if I end up liking this one more, because it seems like this is where they wanted to be. I think they even said that in the interview, that the two was the movie they wanted to make, but they had to get it off the ground first.
Yeah, we got to talk to those guys. I think even off air of
Mm-hmm.
recording, and they were telling us about a lot of ideas that they had and things that they had originally wanted to do in that first film that they just weren't able to get done. So they were really excited to have that sequel to kind of really revisit some of the ideas that they originally had and want to see if they can actually do those. So, I think this one here is going to be more of an accurate portrayal of their voices and really what they wanted to do with this film initially. So I'm excited to see it. To be honest, I want to see what they're going to bring. I know watching that original film, just discussions between me and you, we were kind of just throwing ideas out as soon as we left the theater of what other things that they could do and what they can kind of add to that lore. So this one definitely has my intrigue. I can't wait to see this one. I'm assuming it'll probably have at least a limited run in the theater like that original did.
Absolutely. And hey, maybe now that we know the fellas, maybe they could slide us a screener on that one and we can get an early review for it.
There we go.
We shall see. But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to Blood and Honey 2.